Sir, please.
Now, I would like to request Dean Sir to facilitate our international expert with a garland and a bouquet.
Sir, एक मिनट बुके पे अच्छा
I would also like to request Dr. J.C. Prasad Sir to give a bouquet to our Director of Communication. Now I would like to call Dr. Deepak to tell you about this program.
Good morning, Dean College of Technology, Dr. Vijay Kupchal, our international faculty expert, Dr. H.J.C. Prasad, who is local GIAN coordinator also, and who is Director International Director of Communication, Dr. Jaiswal sir, Head of Soil and Water Conservation Engineering, Dr. Kashyap, and all my participants. So, welcome you all for this program, 5-day program. It will be from 21st April to 25th April. The process of getting this GIAN course, it has initiated almost 1.5 years before, when the program was in third phase of the GIAN. Since it had changed the phase from third to fourth, it has gone. So it has taken a lot of time. And finally, after 1.5 years, we have got this program. Still, we are waiting for some of the funds from the GIAN organization. This GIAN workshop is arranged for a particular topic. Dr. Vijay Kupchal is presently Chief Engineer of Washington State University. He is also there, the academic faculty. He is one of the great experts in terms of wastewater management. For this program, we have got almost 200 applications, and out of 200 applications, we have selected 50 participants. These 50 participants is basically 25 participants are from Pant University, and 25 participants are from all over India. So the states from which the participants has come, that is Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Haryana, and some of more of this. So you all are welcome. We will be very tight with the schedule. Today the process will start, the first lecture will start at 11. We have to stick with the time. More on the GIAN program will be told by Dr. H.J.C. Prasad. So H.J.C. Prasad sir, please. I hope that all participants have got the kit. If somebody has not got the kit or anything else, we will take it care of.
Very good morning to all of you. Yeah, this Global Initiative for Academic Network program, it's a Government of India flagship program. And under this program, yeah, we need to invite foreign experts to India, and they need to spread their knowledge across all over India. So having said that, for this GIAN program, we are happy to be here along with our Dean College of Technology, Dr. S.S. Gupta, the Chief Guest for this inaugural session of this Global Initiative for Academic Network. Sir, thank you for spending your valuable time, and within a short period of time, you are here and you accepted our invitation. Having said that, we can't conduct this program without the consent of our foreign expert, Professor Vijay Kupsar. He is also in professor, adjunct professor of University WSU, Washington State University, and also he is working with the government of US Department of Ecology. He is working on both the sides. He is basically did his PhD from IIT Bombay, and to introduce him, IIT Bombay he did his PhD in environmental engineering long back, almost 30 years back probably. And then he moved on to, after serving in India for a short time, he moved on to Australia for some time, around 8 to more than 1 year or so. Then we moved on to other world, part of the world. Then finally settled in Washington, that is Washington, and the government of US. And then almost I think last 25 years he is in US, and not only we are happy that he is also accompanied by his wife. Thank you for accompanying with family, and both of his son and daughter, both are in MD, master degree in medicine. Both are in Washington. They become fully US guys. Happy to welcome you for this program of GIAN, and yes, we are lucky to have him here because as Professor Deepak said, this process is going on from the last 1.5 years because of the corona and shifting of national coordinator from IIT Kharagpur to IIT Hyderabad. There was a lot of delay, and somehow Professor has accepted even revised schedule also. Thank you, Professor, for accepting our GIAN program, as well as Pantnagar is happy to welcome you for this GIAN program. Then of course our direct communication, Professor Jaiswal is here. So I am happy once again, in addition to Deepak's welcome, I am also personally welcome you for this program and covering wide media coverage and this program. So having said that, GIAN means Global Initiative for Academic Network. It's a flagship program of Government of India, and it should be awarded only to the few institutions. Like if I take Uttarakhand, IIT Roorkee is one of the national institutions which they got it is GIAN, and leaving that, Pantnagar is having a GIAN program. Not even any of other universities, central universities are there, or many state universities are also there, even private institutions are there. Because there is a limit. This one should have a ranking of 100 ranking, less than 100 ranking only this program will be awarded. Yeah, we have conducted almost some around 8 programs have been sanctioned. Because of Corona, last 4 years nothing has happened, and this is the first program under Department of Soil and Water Conservation Engineering of College of Technology has taken the lead, and Professor has accepted from USA. Yeah, we are happy, and I think he is the third person from USA under this GIAN program, including from Texas A&M. Professor Vijay Singh was here for 2 weeks, and he will be here for 1 week. So next, as you are aware, it's a Ministry of Education Government of India program, and these are the objectives you can just see. Main aim of this one is facilitating international collaboration activities. Not only it is just a short duration interaction, or it is an exploratory visit only for him. Later on, we need to establish good contacts with this university, that is Washington State University, as well as government of thing also. Then long term also, like we could establish many long term programs with Australia. Because Western Sydney University, Australia, initially we started with GIAN program and one of the professor expert, and later on we started the student exchange also, and short term as well as long term. So this way our collaborations will be long lasting. It is not just for a day or like that. Okay? So with Washington, with USA, this is the second initiative which we have taken from our university, and it provides opportunity for various this thing. And note that this is going to be, this is on live webcast throughout the world. This is not just limited to this 50 participants who are present here from all over India. but it is live webcasted throughout the world, and it will be available on their website for the entire future period. Okay. So this is the GIAN's initiative. Of course, this is the implementation. As I said, coordinating institution is IIT Hyderabad. Recently they have taken. That's why this small delay is there. Still, yeah, they are cooperating with us like anything. Next, please. And this is the course structure. Any of you can associate with some array of institutions, and you can also start working on this one, like engineering or maybe sciences, humanities, and it is interdisciplinary in nature. And most of the courses, more than 80% or so, will be taken by external expert, and of course a small part of the tutorial part will be taken care of, and some industrial visits will also be there that will be taken care of by post institution. And yeah, this is anyway you are already aware. Shortly we are going to organize another program that is greenhouse management and technology, that is also from the US. I'm happy to say that this is from Purdue University. It's also well-known, well-ranked, highly ranked institution from Purdue. It's a 2 weeks program that will also be conducted in this university somewhere during July 28 to 8th August for about 10 days. Okay. So anyone we can spread across our friends. Okay. As usual, some nominal fee will be there, nominal registration fee, and you have to take care of your facilities which are there. So you will have an interaction with the Purdue University professor on greenhouse management. He is basically an agricultural engineer or agricultural specialist. But yeah, it is a general topic, greenhouse management. So these are some of the earlier conducted programs that includes we organized with was working in the University of Uttarakhand, and of course our some international experts will be there here that you can see. And next, and yeah, participants are from across all over India. As I said, you can just see is available on website also. Whatever the capacity is there, because GIAN says, as per GIAN guidelines, minimum is 25, maximum is 50. Yeah, we put up all the 50 participants. I think this may be the first course where all the 50 participants have been filled up. We have to say no to some of the participants because we received around 140 or 150 applications. Under that we shortlisted and we accepted only 50 per year. You are here and you are lucky. And in this one also there is a restriction that only 50% of the participants can be from internal. Means from Pantnagar University there are some research scholars here. Yeah, sorry to say to some of them because we are allowed only 25 from our own university. So we said sorry, you apply for next time. Because I think 28 are from outside the university. So, and remaining 22, they are from inside the university. That is the participants' view across disciplines. You can just see from where they came from and other things, the details are there. Next please. So, as I said, gender based also, we are very good. You can just see 32 female. Okay, very gender dominated course is this one, and almost 50%. Okay, 18 is only from male. Okay, so here also I think we created a history in case of Pantnagar. Yeah, double the male population of participants from female category. And lastly, as I said, GBPT is 21. And then outsiders 29. Yeah, we satisfied all the criteria of GIAN program, and we should say, or I should say, we are successful because all the 50 we built up, and gender based, yeah, we are over exceeded female cases, and outsiders also more than 50%. That is 29. So in this way, yeah, once again I am welcoming all of you. Some of them with a lot of difficulty they came over to Pantnagar. I know some of the flights have been delayed for almost 10 hours. Whole night they didn't sleep. And they missed our Shatabdi Express also morning train because of the delayed flight from Bangalore to Delhi. Those things are happening. Yeah, happened. yeah, it is a little bit difficulty to come over here, and some of them they traveled more than 30 hours by train. That also I know from Bengal and other things, Wastewater or even Varanasi, even some of the other places like Meerut or also what is it, Kanpur and other places. So welcoming you with all the hardships. Hope your stay will be fruitful, and hope you will enjoy this our program of GIAN for 5 days. This is the first day. Thank you to all, and thank you for all our guests from different places. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, one brief introduction I also want to give about my Department of Soil and Water Conservation Engineering. Basically, this department is organizing this program. In the Department of Soil and Water Conservation Engineering, basically we focus on erosion processes. So we know that soil erosion is one of the great issues. So you can visit our department, you can see we have a lot of facilities. You can cooperate with the professors of civil engineering, soil water conservation engineering, irrigation engineering. So you have come here, you make contacts with our faculties, our students. They will cooperate you, they will help you in research also. So I will request Dr. Vijay Professor to say a few words about the program.
Good morning, everyone.
Probably good night in the US.
Dr. Gupta, Dr. Silprasad, and Dr. Yaswala, and Dr. Deep. Thank you for inviting me here as an expert in wastewater treatment to this Pantnagar University. I really enjoyed the stay here just a couple of days. I came a day early to be out of the journey.
And secondly, this course is sponsored by the Government of India, Ministry of Education, under GIAN, Global Initiative of Academic Network. I am thankful to them. I am also thankful to IIT Hyderabad for giving me an opportunity. I am of course thankful to Pantnagar, all the management and faculty staff in making it successful coming over here. And this course, Industrial Wastewater Management,
Towards sustainable and safe environment. I can increase my voice here.
this course, Industrial Wastewater Management towards Sustainable and Safe Environment, is very important course. All the engineers, scientists, and people who are working in the field must be exposed. This course is designed to give an understanding about our recent industrial developments. And when there is an industrial development, there is always a lot of wastewater produced. Wastewater is produced 24 hours, 365 days. We should understand what we are going to do with this wastewater. This wastewater consists of toxic substance and also many contaminants which affect our environment like water quality, soil and air quality. This really focuses on how to manage the industrial discharge, how to treat and make it safe for the environment and that discharge. Industrial development in today's world is inevitable. It is required, and country like India, it is very important. So when we promote industries, we are doing it. It also comes with some cost. So when industries are growing, the volume of wastewater is also increasing. As I mentioned, that is very important. 24 hours, 365. Wastewater will be produced. You should have a place to put it in a proper place, proper discharge, taking care of your environment. This is specifically important for India because we have a small space that is going to remain forever and very good soil and thickly populated. That is why it is need of the hour for us to protect the water quality and the soil. So this course specifically focus on how it is taken. Okay? You will be here with me for 5 years, now 5 days, and you will learn a lot. So at the end of this course, I hope you will understand enough about the environment and you will take the advantage of this course. And also, when you go back to your schools, you should try to spread it to other people so that more number of environmental caring people will be on the ground. And whatever possible, they will try to create. We have laws in place, but how far we are implementing, that is one part. So, few words about me. So I have studied in India with my graduation, master's, PhD, and then I went to Australia, did my research fellowship at the University of Uttarakhand. Then I worked in Canada on the water quality and mining industry and oil and gas industries. And also, after a few years, I joined the government, and also I am an adjunct professor at Washington State University, which has graduate and master's and PhD program, very active in research and application. I also teach master's students. I work for Washington State Department of Ecology as a senior environmental engineer. I oversee the eastern region on pre-treatment, industrial wastewater management, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. We have the nationwide program on how to take industrial wastewater. Department of Ecology, Washington State and EPA collaborate. I represent Washington State Department of Ecology, and I am also statewide advisor on pre-treatment delegations to train the staff and the people who are involved in the environment. I oversee the overall program, how this takes. This course This course is the design for the industries in the United States. It is applied for all industries existing in the state, in the town, district, everywhere, all over the US. This program is very effective. Can you imagine? If I take 2-3 minutes more is okay? This program is designed to take care of all the industries. It is not only the big industries, it is medium and small, which are more important today because they are not affordable to have a treatment unit of their own. Big industries, they have a lot of wastewater and they have a lot of revenue generated. So they can have their wastewater, but still they have to be under this program. That is one, resource-wise. But small, medium, what are their issues? How they have been executed? How they have been managed, the discharge? That all here in this course. So what I am going to do is, you understand this model, how it has been implemented, how this has been executed. Right? Because I execute this program myself in the Eastern Basin and also the statewide I oversee. So you will understand how the industry's wastewater is managed, small to big. Small means as much as small as a gas station. 2, in a big industry like Boeing, which is one of the biggest industry in the world, which produces raw aeroplanes. Right? So they are all under the same scheme. Can you imagine? That's one. Secondly, when a small discharge from the small industry is discharged without any treatment, how that has been managed and captured and the warnings are given, how to do the best management practice from there to the top. If they miss reporting for 3 days, then they will be under the scanner. Imagine that kind of a level of precise this program is revealed there. So is it possible to have a similar kind here when you go back, when you are in the industry, when you teach your students, when you associate with the people in the environmental field, how you can transform this? How far is going to be successful, that is a different thing, but you have to keep the first step. Right? This is a time now. Right? So that is all is incorporated into this program. That's why I felt that this is very important that our people here must know what is going on. We cannot say that nothing will happen. It is possible, but somebody has to keep a step. You must know yourself, being in the field of environmental for many, many years. I am in this field for 3 decades. Right? So we have your education and also you have experience, but the will to create and contribute is important. So that is what I am trying to put this all in this course. And this, as mentioned, Shivaprabha said very rightly, this is a global initiative, academic network. So we will have a good interaction. You can ask your questions and we will understand each other's issues and I will be able to the response to that. That is important part. First we will start with this course, then we will see how that is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Then I will request Director of Communication is with us. He says a few words on this.
Thank you very much.
for the dean of this college, Dr. Prasad. We learned it, our guest, Professor Vijay Prasad, and who is leading this program today, Dr. Prasad ji, Deepak Kumar, Dr. BBC, and other faculty, plus very, you can say, personal over here. What I can say at this juncture, I must say that we are very lucky to have such a learned technician who has almost spent his life in waste management. So it is indeed a matter of great pleasure, and I would like to thank Professor Prasad that he could have managed such a person of high, you can say, to deliver something before you. And I hope everybody will be benefited by his experience, and he is one of us, and he has love for his motherland, so he has travelled from such a far apart, you can say, place. I must like to thank Professor Prasad for coming over here, and also I would like to thank Professor Prasad for inviting me to be here, and also Deepak to say a few words. So with these words, I would like to congratulate each of them that we are here to learn something, and also you must visit our campus. We have a very good campus. आप याद करेंगे यहाँ पर आने के बाद कि आप कहीं आए हैं, और जो भी आपको यहाँ मिल रहा है 5 दिन में, इसको अच्छे से ग्रहण करें। यही मेरी आपसे प्रार्थना है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Now I will invite Dean College of Technology, Dr. S.S. Gupta, to say a few words in the program.
Yeah, I will be addressing you all in the sitting position only because I have some problem in the right leg. Dear leaders, first of all, welcome to Dr. Vijay ji, Dr. Prasad, and Jasawal ji, and the organizer of this event, Deepak, and their department colleague, as well as Dr. Prasad, who was guided in the nice for organizing this. That basically the 3 main components are there for the survival of humanity. One is soil, another is water, and third is your environment. So if anything goes wrong with any one of these, then the survival of the humanity will be in the danger. Again, in the last week itself, I have heard so many news that one village in the Maharashtra right now, where the people have reported that they are losing their hairs, even nails also. And that was the reason. The reason was mainly the use of the polluted water, which is containing highly toxic substances. Now, when we define the toxic substances, we can define in 3 different categories. One is in the suspension, solid metal. Another is the synthetic, and third is in the water itself or chemicals. So now, Professor Vijay, Dr. Vijay ji has given you an opportunity. We are having this nice opportunity that all of you please interact with him in a nice manner so that you should be able to learn all the components, whether related to the medium industry, whether it is related to the big industry. Actually, the problem was there with mainly the small units, because the big industries, they are having enough budget for their corporate social responsibility as well as for the treatment of creating the treatment plant. But it is the problem of only the small units. So where the role of all the scientists, all the person associated with this becomes important. So I think you people, it is the responsibility on you people itself, which you are going to learn from this particular course. And so many things will be there. I think hand-on exercises you may also get. So just try to learn things in a nice way. And if you are having any doubts, please clear it immediately. Because the major responsibility is there on. Now when we talk about this particular course, our government has already has been kind enough to provide enough funds to this GIAN program. And when we talk about the development, our PM, he is having a vision of 2047 Viksit Bharat. So when we talk about the Viksit Bharat, naturally some development will be there in the form of the industrial, somewhere the defense corridors will be established, or other types of the units will be there. So when these units will come naturally, the wastewater will be generated, and it is essential to protect all our water resources or water body. That is, whatever the waste is coming, the waste will be coming from these units. These should be treated in a nice manner so that all our water resources or sources will be protected. So I think this is a very nice opportunity and good opportunity. And once again, I welcome all the participants also, because they are the backbone of this particular course, who will be shouldering the big responsibility in the future. So once again, thank you all, and please enjoy.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious words. Now I will present the vote of thanks. So I am very, very thankful to Government of India to give this opportunity to organize the GIAN program. I am thankful to our Dean, Dr. S.S. Gupta, to be here and bless the program as the chief guest. I want to thank Dr. Vijay Khubsat, who is our international faculty for this program. I want to thanks Jaiswal sir, Dr. Jaiswal, who is Director of Communication, to be here on very short notice. Thank you, sir. I also want to thank you, local GIAN coordinator, who is also the Director of International Affairs of Pant University. At the same time, I also want to thank you, Dr. P.V. Singh, sir, who is faculty at Soil and Water Conservation Engineering. The acting head at this time, Dr. P.S. Kashyap, who is working in the field of crop modeling. I want to thank you all the participants who has come from various parts of India for this program. If there will be any problem with you while staying, you please consult our volunteers, or you can directly consult me for anything else. So whether it is related to the food, whether it is related to your stay, whatever may be, I will try to sort out here. As you know that there are 3 or more programs simultaneously going on in the university. So we have very limited seats in the guest house. So if there is any problem, so please excuse me for that. You have to compensate somehow. So there may be some changes. Maybe you have shifted from IGS to Lambert. Some of the faculty, I think they have shifted from there. So please cope with this. If there is any problem, then you can tell me. While this program, we will have some industrial visits also. So be on time. For example, today at 2 p.m. we will move for Sidipal industry. So a bus will wait for you at the guest house. Please very concise with the time. Yes. So finally, I will thank all the staffs, volunteers of College of Technology to facilitate this program. Thank you very much. So I will request our chief guest, Dr. S.S. Gupta, to close this program.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a small refreshment is waiting for you, just at this side. Please take it on this side. Our volunteer will have.
On behalf of our university, I also thank to UCO Bank for sponsoring the compliments which will be given very shortly. UCO Bank of Pantnagar has sponsored compliments to all the participants to Pant on behalf of our university and also GIAN initiative. And also we thank the industries.
So that you can easy to run away, right? Thank you very much for participating in this course. I mentioned a little briefly what the course is. In lecture 1 and 2 together. Okay? So from 11 to 1 we will do that. We have in tutorials. Okay? There are two components for managing the wastewater. One is and how it is discharged and where it is discharged. Or we call it as an pre-treatment. 1 o'clock, that's also good. I have two videos put up how successfully the treatment plant is constructed and managed. You can see a little video also. I think probably maybe tomorrow. Important to take care of. Otherwise, that will mess up with the whole treatment process. And also, even if it is so where how the industry, what was the discharge, where they were discharging, what were the issues, how they were dealt, and how the enforcement is. Because we have three kind of regulations. Can you take it to the next slide? Oh, I will do that. Oh, no. I was not knowing this. It's a pre-treatment program. It's from the Environmental Protection Agency, which I always interact with. We developed this system. It was developed long back, applied to the whole United States. And NPDS means this is a National Pollution Discharge Eliminating System. That is right. You will understand that. Don't be panicked because this material is so much. So it is like drinking water with the fire hose. So go slow. If you don't understand, you can stop me. You can ask me how it is, why it is coming up, what is this. You can ask freely. It should be like kind of an interactive. I'm teaching you, you are learning. It is not like you guys have a great experience, great qualification. You can also share your thoughts, how you do here, what were the questions in this situation, what we do. Because this course, what I'm going to do is, my first focus is to address your issues. You can ask any questions. There is nothing like a dumb question, right? So you can ask any question. So I will try to explain that to my ability. I remember, because you need not to be hesitant, I taught here also for many years. I started my career like lecturer, then I become assistant professor, then I become professor. Combination, so you will understand. So this particular course, as I mentioned, it is basically what we are doing in the US to take care of industrial wastewater. So how it is implemented, where it is implemented, what are the consequences, what are the issues. Pocket. Is it okay inside? Okay, thank you. I think we are good. Okay. So what is this pre-treatment? Why it is called pre-treatment? You are discharging, you are pre-treating the industrial wastewater and then discharging it to the municipal wastewater treatment plant. Every city, town has its domestic wastewater treatment. From small town to big city, that is mandatory there. Even a town having a population of 5,000, it must have a pure drinking water and as well as the wastewater treatment plant, whatever is taken care of, right? So every city, town, they have a big wastewater treatment plant, and industries are spread all over, right? They have a municipal sewer system. So I said earlier, big industry, they have a lot of resources, they can have their own treatment plant and they will make it safe, then they can discharge. Discharge may be to the river or to the land application. I have a couple examples where we treat the water to the such extent that it can be applied for growing crops. I have a couple examples. And also we have a big city where the population is about 500,000. They treat, right? So understand that way. So it's a national program. I said earlier also, it is a national program all over US. Any part and corner if you go, this program exists. And implemented through regions, states and local. In one of the states they divide. So that is the kind of work what we do. So regions, states and local program. What do you mean by local? Local means a small town, some town where the monuments are there, where the important things are there, structures are there. They want to have their own limits. Every town has to publish, I mean, on their road. So they have their own limits sometimes. If I say, for example, federal BOD limit is about 60, just a number. It's not, but just a number. Then locals say that no, our treatment plant is small. We can't accept 60 BOD. We will accept only 30. What they will do, you have to treat that BOD and you have to make it dilute for residential. For industrial, so that is how the question comes. The industrial, that is called a non-domestic. They won't say industrial because sometimes industrial may mess up with the non-domestic. If you say that the domestic wastewater, in the sense it is purely the wastewater generated by the houses, right? That is a domestic wastewater. Non-domestic means there are some commercial units, big commercial units. Their wastewater coming out of the commercial unit is not exactly like a residential. It may be slightly different. That is why that wording is there. So that is the industrial discharge and a non-domestic. All industrial discharges are not domestic, right? That is how these terms it is. So local limits to accept the wastewater. Accept means they can have a direct connection to the treatment plant or they can discharge to the sewer. They just cannot hide somewhere and discharge. There are heavy fines will be there if they do like that, because this program ties whenever the new industry come into the city, towns, they have to take a permission from the department to how they will take care of the wastewater which is generated from the city. So a lot of slides are there, but I may go a little slow when you are ready. Okay. The next purpose of the pre-treatment program. Why? What is the purpose of this program? This program, you see, to prevent the introduction of pollutant into the POTW. POTW in the sense wastewater treatment plant. That way you can understand. Because why they call it POTW means because public money they construct. So they give a value to the credit to the public, not to the government, right? Because your money runs the government. So that is how the US system works. Everything is a freedom and pursuit of happiness. That is what the system is, right? So to prevent introduction of pollutant into the POTW, which will be interfere with the treatment plant. That is, the city town which runs this treatment plant, it has got a right to prevent any wastewater coming to their treatment system. They cannot discharge any toxic stuff. They can stop interference. It should not cause any interference to their wastewater treatment plants. But you know how these treatment plants are built, because since I was also worked in the consultant teaching design, so we know how we design the treatment plants has got some limitations, how much it can treat. I will take 1 minute break. I want to know how many of you have an environmental background. Just raise your hands. Okay, good. Good. I will ask your introduction later. Sometimes we will start one by one. You will have to tell your education, name, and which field you are working, and one of your hobby, what you do, other than your academy, right? We will do that one by one. So then most of you can understand this. It is very basic and simple. We will do that later. So it should not create any interference for their treatment system, number one. Number two is it should not pass through. There are certain pollutants which will just pass through. You cannot catch them for the treatment. So if it is passing through without any treatment, so where it will end up? Either it will end up in the river where they are discharging, or it will, if they are applying to the land, it will end up in the land. So that is why they can scan. That is why we see how many things we will ask the treatment plant to monitor. They do priority pollutant scan, number of maybe about 20-30 pollutants. We scan them, they find out is there any pass through. Treatment means, it doesn't mean that if you are not measuring, then there is no pollution. So if you want to measure and see is there any pass through, so certain contaminant like TDS, if you are not measuring, it will just pass through and it will end up in the river. So this is how, that is what it says, it should not pass through and be incompatible. If you are the pollutant which they were discharging it to the wastewater treatment plant, if it is not capable by the designed treatment plant to take care, so in that case they say no, we will not accept. It is left to the commercial unit or the small industry or anyone, that they should take care of that. That is why it says that they have to treat at their industry and then discharge, make it compatible with the treatment plant, right? So that is what it is. What is the ultimate grade? Ultimate game of this whole program is to protect POTW and its workers, because the treatment plant which is publicly funded, it must be protected first, right? You cannot accept, and anyone cannot just discharge to their sewer system and spoil the entire treatment unit. So that is the very idea of this pre-treatment program. Okay, then these are some terms and conditions, I mean the abbreviations which we will use in future. What is the Clean Water Act, which started there? It is in 1970s, where the clean water enacted by the federal government to make sure that everybody should treat their wastewater, then discharge. It has a right. So if you have a law, then you can apply. If you don't have a law, then nothing can be done, right? There may be some situation where there are laws not implemented, but that is unfortunate. But we have to make sure that the law is there in place, then you can implement, right? So that is what I was telling you. NPDS permit National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. NPDS means what? These are the kind of permits, authorization given by the department or Department of Ecology or the Environmental Protection Agency, so that if the treated wastewater is specifically they are discharging it to the river, that is called a NPDS permit. I said there are different ways where you can discharge the the wastewater. One is you can discharge it to the river, make it safe. That they are called, just they are separated, because what is the main purpose of this program is to protect the waters, rivers, waters of the states, waters of the nations. That is the first responsibility. Then protect the safe environment. So that is the very purpose. So main mission is to protect anything which causes a damage to the rivers. You can understand where I am telling. So they have the laws. They can protect. They can stop any industry, however big it is. So you can understand how we do here, how do there. So how slowly we have to keep a step forward to implement these things. That is why I said in my very first note, whatever you learn, you can understand, spread to other people, teach your students, so that one by one, you may not change the whole world at a time, but step by step is important, taken care of. So people are getting more aware. What I heard, 25 years I left, and now the things are changed a lot. So people are getting aware. Youngsters, they are more proactive. So they can ask question. Earlier it was not like that. But I always like people who ask anywhere. If it is wrong, you should ask wherever it is, right? So that is what I mentioned, the publicly owned treatment works, industrial user, significant industrial user. Just I want to tell little bit. It is all there in the glossary. You can read in the evening or whenever you get time. So significant industrial users, in the sense they have made a category. If the industry is discharging 25,000 gallons per day, I am using little gallons and LB, so pardon me for that. So here we use liters. We were using liters, now little change, but the volume is same. You can understand that 1 gallon represents 3.78 liters, that right? So if I use gallons, what is saying, don't say that. So it is just a liter conversion. Okay, but wherever possible in my presentation I have done that, but if not, you can understand that, right? So industrial user, significant industrial user means 25,000 gallons per day. If they are discharging more than that, so then they need they are called a significant industrial users. Significant industrial users, in the sense we keep a little more focus on them. So what they are doing, nothing is hidden, everything is open. They must put all the data, whatever monitor, it should be on the system. Anybody can see, no hidden or anything like that, right? And categorical industry, in the sense some of the industries, especially metal industries, metal focus, metal cutting industries, chrome industries, they are called categorical industries. What happens? These categorical industries they may be discharging a small quantity, maybe discharging 2,000 liters or 5,000 liters or 10,000 liters, but they are discharging a very toxic wastewater, concentrated. Quality, quantity, there are two aspects, right? If it is quality is worst, if they are discharging any concentrated, then we have to be careful how they are doing what they are doing. Then categorical industries and a code of federal, this is all covered under the federal regulations. Federal regulation at the national level, and the state regulations and the local regulation at the small towns. Then common terms and phrases, I will go a little bit quickly. Approved pre-treatment program means what happens sometimes Department of Ecology, what it does is, it authorizes some of the cities to run the program on behalf of us. Government says everything is not done by the government. So we say that some cities, okay, they have resources, staff, funding, everything. So then you run the program on behalf of us under these regulations. Right? So that is how in the eastern region, for example, where I do that, there are certain cities, we authorize them. You run the program on behalf of us. I oversee them. Every 2 years I see what they are doing, how they are doing, whether they are doing any enforcement or not, whether they are monitoring the tributary industries very carefully or not. So that we oversee how they are doing. That I oversee. Right? So if the cities are strong, more resources, we delegate them. Instead of government, you do, we will oversee. But if there are certain industries which are non-delegated beyond their service area, then we say that department issues the permit to them directly. We oversee them. We authorize them. They have to report us to directly. But otherwise what happened, delegate means the cities, they will respond to the cities and then cities will respond to us. That is simple, right? So this is the approved pre-treatment program. Controlling authority, in the sense we give the city, you are the controlling authority, you oversee all the wastewater industrial discharge, you are they are discharging it properly to a wastewater treatment plant, and you guys are discharging to river or to the land application properly or not. So that is the next step. So they are called a controlling authority. Cities, we call them as a controlling authority. Then approved authority means our government. I have to, we have to approve. Department of Ecology has to approve that we have approved. If it is discharging without any treatment, then they can stop. Stop means what they will do? You can't discharge. You can either shut down the industry, or you take your wastewater in a big volume wastewater to some other place where they are treating. But you cannot just discharge to the wastewater treatment through the sewage system and the sewage network or directly. So that is, if they do, then there are going to be consequences. Consequences are not like here. The fines will be in millions, not like that. So we have many examples which we have done like that. So improve the opportunity for the sludge. That is what one tutorial I have kept for the metals. You see what happens if there is any escape of the pollutant like metals. Metal industry is, somewhere in the corner they are discharging and you are not able to trace out. What happens? That will go into the sludge. What happens there is, most of the sludge is treated and used as a manure to the soil. That is, here also we do organic. If it consists of a metal in that, they cannot use it. It all becomes waste. So that is why it is very important to track the metal industries, however small dischargers they are. So what they are doing, where they are discharging. Otherwise your whole system, if you have a biosolids program at your town, if you are making millions with that, to the glossary, I will check out whether you will get that copy. So you see here how this program, this is the treatment plant, correct? And there are different components here. Number one, corrosion of collection system or to the treatment plants, right? Then there are interferences, there are workers, limited, and there is a pass through. The toxic substance will just pass through if they are not treated. So wastewater from the residential area collected at the treatment plant. How this is going to affect? It will cause a corrosion. If the wastewater is coming from the industry, what happens? If the pH, ideal pH is about 7 to 9, Usually 6 to 11 we can permit for industries. If it is low, 3, 4, what happens? It will cause a problem, issues to the sewer line. Sewer lines will be corroded. That low pH wastewater will react with the iron reinforcement in the sewer system and it will destroy, right? So what happens? So if the whole system is destroyed, then what happens if they are just discharging? If you do not have, if they are some gasified wastewater, if it is consist of lot of methane, if you are not properly maintained, there is a possibility that it may cause an explosion, right? So then there are also workers who are working in the treatment plant. You have to take care of them. People who work in the treatment plants, they are more valued there because they are treating with some kind of toxic waste already, always generating hydrogen sulfide or methane like that. So proper protective equipments, right? So those are very important for people. Without protective equipments, you cannot go on the treatment plant. They are important system. So hydrogen sulfide, if it is just a small quantity, if you are exposed continuously, people may die. You will not even knowing what has happened. If they are going in the manhole which has a methane generation in a confined space, there is a possibility of death. It happens many places, but people don't notice, but they are very dangerous. So that is why this is the system, and once it is treated, this water goes to the river, right? If it is NPDS or if you are applying it to the land, right? So if it has a toxic substance, it is not possible to treat. It depends upon how you design the treatment plant system. If it is not capable of treating, and if it is discharge is coming from some industry and going to the river, fish life will be dead. That is why you are always watched by the fishery department. It is very one of the hard department to get through. Fish will be, and also there are many hospitals that will come to the waste coming from the clinics, hospitals later. I will cover a little bit about that also. So this is the system. It is important to protect that. What is affected, or who is the affected in this whole system? Approval authority, POTW, industrial users, and waste haulers, and a commercial entity. All, if the wastewater is consist of a contaminant, toxics, then all these stakeholders will be affected, right? Then approval authority, what is the goal? Adequate implementation of a pre-treatment program. Legal authority, oversight responsibility, POTW pre-treatment program implementation, SIU and CIU pre-treatment program implementation. How you implement? That is why the bigger responsibility, you can understand how big the responsibility, how if you have great value for the human beings, right? Without knowingly they will be affected. That is why I was mentioning this course is important. It will give you a little bit insight how much our people are exposed for this kind of activities. You can understand we have a limited space, lot of people. If water quality affected, then it will affect everywhere. It is not that if we drink bottled water and in air condition only will be safe. It is not like that. There are many contaminant where just pass through and you will not be even knowing, because most of the treatment plants we won't be having a tertiary treatment. There are few more things are coming up. People may be knowing PCB and PFAS. I will cover a little bit of that also, so that you can understand how difficult to even the US spends billions of dollars. It is, they are to take care of that contaminants, right? Then I have already mentioned how who is affected, the POTW, and the goal to prevent interference and pass through the treatment, legal authority responsibility. What is this survey of industrial users? These are the components. How you run the program? Is it that just to treat the treatment plant and discharge? But you should know which are the industries existing in that town or city which are contributing to the wastewater, right? You have a residential wastewater, domestic wastewater, large quantity, and you are allowing some industries to discharge and make it compatible with the domestic wastewater so that the treatment can be done. Means there are industries where they say that we don't have any toxic. There are some food industries which they use all the time, the cleaning the stuff, and they have a BOD and TSS and a flow. Then say they can discharge, they can collect it, remove the suspended solids, and then discharge. Give a little pre-treatment. They will be having a big pond, wastewater coming from that facility is put into that, all the suspended solids settle down, then the remaining they can send it to the wastewater treatment plant. They can take care. If they are discharging heavy suspended solids all the time, so that whole thing will be messed up, right? One industry, you don't have a right to mess everything. You can see the example here. I will take little examples out of wherever what is happening here. So that is why it is important. They have to make it safe, compatible. That is why they use the word compatible. Then they can discharge. So that is what the survey says. First, the city town should know how many industries are existing. Suppose there is a big treatment plant here, a lot of industries are there, you should know. They say that cities should wastewater. They say that we must know. You cannot hide anything. You must know. What industry is it? They will be linking. When industry come in, they need a water permission, they need a land permission, they hook up immediately. So they will see one industry has come here. So what they are manufacturing, how many people are working, what is the wastewater coming up. So you all scan that and you see whether they need an important authorization or not. That is called permit there. Whether they need an authorization to discharge or not. No, if they are not doing anything, just their wastewater is just like a residential wastewater, then they can discharge. But who will make that decision? This authority will make the decision. That is why they have to provide all the information. So that is called the survey. You cannot just go on watching the town, which industry has come, what they are doing. No, they must. It is their responsibility. If they don't know what happens, anybody authority can go and just take action on that. So that is what the survey says. So how many industries are there, what they are doing, where they are discharging. So some people say that no, ours is very safe. Then if the wastewater is coming from that industry, authority can take the sample and measure. They cannot lie. Lying is a big crime there. First, you have to give. They will ask you. You have to say yes. You have to say correctly what is there. First, they will believe you. You say anything, they will believe. Then if it is wrong, then there is a consequence. You go in the system that you cannot believe in future. So those are the things. That is what the survey makes. Then the control, industrial users, waste haulers. But there are small industries. They say that I don't have any sewer system. My place is somewhere in the corner. I don't have any source to discharge it to your sewer line because your sewer line doesn't exist there. So they have made a provision for all of them. You just cannot blame that it is not there, which is our usual tendency. So it is not there. You cannot say. Then they say haulers. They collect the wastewater. What they say is whatever the discharge, you collect in the tank, you have a hauler, he will take that to the treatment plant. You have to pay money, right? Because paying money for what we generate, what we do is important. That is how our people must know here also that you will do. right? It is not that you don't get things free, right? If it is a free, then it won't have a value, right? So that is what it says. The wastewater, however, commercial entities, there are some commercial entities, they say that their wastewater is slightly different from the domestic wastewater. Residential wastewater, in the sense, you know, all which comes from the house, right? So commercial, if it is slightly different, they cannot discharge. They have to haul their wastewater to some other places unless it is in a domestic waste. So that is how. Then inspection, monitoring, you have to, people will go and inspect them, what is, whether who is doing, because once they get an authorization permit, that is what called is authorization to discharge. You know, they do inspection. Suppose you are, I can go any industry and ask them what you are doing. Where is there? Where your wastewater generated? Where it is going? What you do? You can ask anything. Where are your registers? You can ask. That is the authority it gives. So that is how you are tracked. There is no just chance that you can do it for some time. So that is how the system is. Monitoring, receiving and reviewing the report. So once the industry got an authorization, then they have to, in that authorization, they say that your wastewater is this, your industry is this, these are the parameters. I will show you one example to just see how that looks. If you read that, you will understand how much responsibility the industry has. If it doesn't do, what will happen? So you will read. I will give you one example later. You know, so it mentions everything. That authorization, they say that whatever your wastewater is you are producing, how you are managing, how much is the volume today you produce, that is the online flow meter is fixed on the outlet. So every day you will not, it will record how much is the wastewater produced, how much. If you say that weekly you have to measure these things, BOD, TSS, pH daily, and some other parameters, nitrate, nitrogen, ammonia, if you want to measure. So once in a week you take a sample, send it to authorized laboratory, tabulate all that. In a monthly you will have to report to the system, either to the city if it is delegated, or to the department. So monthly you have to send daily monitoring report. So you will see how much is the wastewater produced, how much is the parameters measured, are they exceeding what you have been given. If you say that you allow 300 milligram of TSS, if they are producing 400, then you will see what happened. That's a numerical violation. That is called numerical violation. You will ask, you have to give an explanation what happened, how you will reduce. That means your settling tank is not working there. You need a settling tank. You have to reduce that, then discharge. You cannot do that one time, two times. Then there is an actions, right? So pH and flow meters, they are measured daily. So the receiving POTW, wastewater treatment plant, must know how many people are discharging, where they are discharging, what is the volume, what is the quality. So there is no chance for them. They measure at inlets. They are called tributary industries. Right? So this is how the monitoring report. Then there is an enforcement always there. If you don't listen, then there is a serious issues. There are incidents where thousands of dollars have been put as a fine if they violate. The system is, if you violate, you have to pay for that. That is the law. You just violate and then just cannot. It is true in the social system also. If you violate, okay, you can violate and you have to pay this. If you are not paying, then there is a different thing. So that is how the system. You just cannot escape the system, because system is built. You are part of that. You cannot change the system. That is how we all should understand how those systems work there. So that is what I'm trying to teach you here. Then the annual report, they will have to give a yearly what is the consolidated report. And a person who is doing has a lot of authority. It is not that one person, you are an engineer, you are managing. If you take action, other people cannot influence and say, no, you can just leave it. They cannot do that. They can tell you only, you look into that again. So that is how the system is built. Industrial user responsibility, that I have covered. Waste haulers and commercial entities, what are the goals? Local and state, federal, I have explained, where the local authority has a big responsibility. If it is a federal, your regulations may be more stringent than the state and regulars. It cannot be local limits or whatever you establish for your town to protect your town cities. It cannot be much more than what the state and federal. That is the authority is given. So no hazardous waste responsibilities. They have to in that authorization. It is mentioned very much clearly that no hazard material should be discharged. You cannot just throw the batteries there or anything, any contaminant you can without noticing, you cannot. If you are found, then there is a heavy fine. People, it is their law is established like that, system is developed. People who are our people only who go there, they follow the law. Here, if they don't follow it, but the system is because they built like that, right? So hazardous stuff should not be there. If it is a hazardous, then there is a big issue. There is a separate department. They will come and just they will smash everything. That is a separate one. If it is hazardous, that is what your authorization clearly mentions. It must have not have any hazardous substance. If spill occurs, how we will do? You should have a system in place. If where you are, if there is a failure, how we will mitigate. All these systems are built in that the authorization which is given, right? Comply with the POTW requirement. That is what I mentioned. City wastewater treatment plant has a big authority. They can stop any wastewater coming from any corner if it is not comply, if it is not compatible, if they don't comply with the authorizations. So that is how the whole system is brought under a program. You have to be a part of program, whether you are a small industry or you are a big industry like a Boeing, doesn't matter. After 1 hour, we will take a 5 minutes break. You guys can fresh up, right? Is that okay? Okay. So I will cover one more slide and then we'll go. This is little messed up. That's fine. Program review. I want to tell a little bit about the 1971 Clean Water Act, which is the revolution in the field of environment. Why the US Protection Agency, state government, or in the world, it is more famous? Because even when we were there, we used to study about this one, Clean Water Act, and because US is the one country where they have established the guidelines, rules, regulation for their system. But now the world everywhere is following, right? So that is how this Clean Water Act is more famous, right? So this started some other website you can always search. Point sources must obtain an NPDES permit, EPA or their delegated states. What does it? What the delegated states? I said our state government and the EPA is the central body, federal. We collaborate there. So that is how. If they say that city, no, we don't have that much. NPDES states means NPDES in the sense only you can have that understanding. The industries or the cities where the treated wastewater is discharged to rivers. Rivers are the properties of the state, country. They are well protected, not like you can just throw anything. You might be knowing about Yamuna River, which is going in Delhi now, so you guys know. But that is how you cannot do like that. So they are very well treated. No one can go and spoil the things, right? So that is the NPDES state. State NPDES permits and pre-treatment program industrial users. Industrial users in the sense industries which produce wastewater. It is very simple. If you have a capability, you build your treatment plant. If you don't have a capability, then you can discharge to city wastewater, but you have to pay money for that. And city wastewater says that that is the industry, it has a toxic. So they say that no, you treat little bit, make it compatible to us, then we will take care. So very simple, right? But you have to pay money for that. That is between them. What is the cost? They based on the volume, based on the quality. You little amount toxic we are producing, we don't pay, we can hide. No, not like that. So it is, that is how this system is built. Then there are I will not go. It's 1973. Little bit changes in the format. Like we'll have to fix that one later, right? Later. Okay, so these are the some of the federal codes. These are, so under 40 CFR 403 is the pre-treatment program and approval deadlines, pre-treatment implementation review task, how it is developed. It is started from 1973. See, step by step. That is how we will have to do it here also. Here also they are there because I have worked in the regulation also when I was in IIT. There are rules are there, but it has to be implemented properly, right? So at different years there have been the domestic sewage studies. You will have to have once to decide or to design any treatment plant, you will have to have a feasible study that you guys know. You have to have a feasible study, then design the treatment plant to be based on the volumes, characteristics, and also future expansion. But when you design any treatment plant, you design it for 30 years, not for today. You think that in 30 years also your plant should be good, and today also your plant should be good. So that is how. That is usually all the treatment plants are done. Then the Congress rules, regulations, and DSS regulations, and removal of credit pollutant eligibility, that is also there. If there are some priority pollutants which are produced by particular industry, then they have a regulation to have a treatment for that, right? Then program modification regulations, streamlined. These are the different laws came into existence one by one. They learned the lesson when they implemented the first 1973. Then they understand. See, people who are in the system, hey, here is the gap, so we need another regulation. And always the system is that when you make a regulation, is to make a regulations. The system is little different. President can appoint the secretaries directly. Congress does the regulation, what is required for the people of the United States. That is how system. That's why the Congress came into that. Then this is the Federal Code 40, which deals with the environmental protection. Protection of Environment Chapter 1, Environmental Protection Agency. These are the regulations under which, if you read this, the whole system is there. So how the pre-treatment program is designed, what I am telling you right now, right? Oh, it has missed something. Okay. Program implementation. Who must develop a program? Who must develop a program, right? POTW, that is means the city wastewater treatment plant, which has a capacity of 5 million gallons, they can have the authorization. You cannot, there is a small town, if they say that, oh, you give a delegation for us, we will run whatever.
Don't ask me, it is not like that. If there is in a big town, I mean substantial town, your treatment plant is 5 million gallons. Please pardon me again, gallons, it is in liters here, right? Liters is 3.7. If you multiply, you will come MLD. Here we design it on the MLDs, right? So if they have a capacity of 5 million gallons, means nearly 4 times in liters, right? So then they can ask for authorization. We are big cities, we want to run our program, you can oversee, but we should have an authorization. We will look after all the industries coming under our service area, and also we will follow all the regulations. So they can apply for that program. We will see their engineering, we will see whether they are really, their treatment plant is as per the design, really they are doing a good job, they have all resources, they are capable of maintaining the discharge coming from the whole town. Then we authorize them. Okay, you can do the treatment plant. Combined design flow 5 million gallons, receiving flow subjected to pre-treatment standard, receiving pollutant which pass through and interfere. Approval authority may require program development regardless. That means they should be capable of accepting the industrial wastewater also. If a city designs a treatment plants, you cannot overload by industrial wastewater only, because it is basically built by for the residential wastewater. But in the biological system, if you have a 5 million gallon of wastewater treatment plant, you can accept about 10%, 20% of industrial wastewater also. Make it compatible and treat them. So that is how they need not worry. Because I have worked in biological system for many years. So I know how this thing, why they are more popular today also. Because we don't apply a chemical treatment or other kind of a treatment. We don't want to treat and produce one form of waste to another form of waste, because the bacteria what we use in the treatment system, biochemical system, biological system, what they do is in a short period of time they convert toxic waste into manageable waste or removal. It means you can manage or they will remove completely. They live for a short seconds, fraction of second. They do such a important, work for the human society. So we will also learn about biological treatment. One, I have kept a biological system and advanced biological system. You will understand how that system works, right? I am giving you there are two parts. One is regulation, one is technology is there. They can buy, but you should have a system to guide them. Otherwise, what happens? You know the examples, many examples, right? So this is how the system is designed. Then oversight authority. Oversight authority means these are the authorities. There are many people who watching you all the time. There is a federal regulations, there is a state regulation, there is a local, there is a controlling authority. All will see. Young people, like all engineers and operators, they will go and take sample. They will make sure that everything is going well. And the entity that oversees CA and can means EPA and state. We see if we give authorizations to the city, towns and industries, we directly oversee that program. Depends upon the pre-treatment authorization status, delegated status, non-delegated status. That is what I was trying to say, that if city is authorized, that means it is delegated. If it is not, it is we see directly. Okay, we'll take a quick 5 minutes. So we are little bit late today. 5 minutes you can use your anything, washroom and all. So we can start again. Don't take more than 5 minutes. Today is little tight. We spend a lot of time in, make understand how this, why it is so important for you to understand this system, because even a little portion of this, if you were able to extend it, so see how this is done there, how we are doing, you should be have that understanding is important. We can keep a one step ahead. So that is our focus, right? Okay, so I want to give you, there are some slides, I can give you some quick flashes, then we will go. So this is the program here, you can also get it on the system. See, there are different states, 50 states that you know already. My state is here, Washington. Okay? Washington State. Washington State, Washington DC, there are two different things. You should understand. Because I myself confused when I was there, when I went there. So that's not a big deal. So these are 550 states where the program is implemented. See, the program is implemented all over the state, all over the country, right? So then there are some are delegated, some are, a new state is there where they don't have a resources. What they do, EPA directly involves and they start doing the things. It is not that the system is not there, you can just do anything, it is not there. There are three layers of coverage. One is the EPA, that is the central federal level, and state level, and the local level. Local level also very active. They say that we want our city. City towns are run like in a business. It is not like that. We don't do anything, we don't pay tax, no. Cities are also like that, small towns, where if you don't have a source, okay, we will provide you a source. We'll give you, fund you, but you have to run the your town, city as per the regulation. It is not like that you don't have anything, I will do. No, that is not there. That is why it is very important in the field of environmental engineering, why it is done so much progress, right? So these are the states where the things are done, fully authorized, partially authorized, unauthorized, where the EPA or central federal government can directly oversee. So there is someone to watch you, provide you the regulation and watch you what you are doing, what is happening, right? So implementation, oversight, the POTW receive, review, how that program is done. I want to give you quickly a little bit about that. So direct oversight, industrial users and POTWs, which are authorized by EPA and state. So what happens is, cities either authorized by, the states, they can run the program, or the department, pollution control board, what you call here, it runs the program directly. That means we run the program directly. Then if it is the direct oversight, if there is a non-delegated area, if there is in a small town, one industry is there, then we enter there, we do everything, and they have to follow the rules. Of course, when they are discharging, nothing is free. That is one thing we should understand. Whatever you contribute, you have to pay money for that, if that is there. So that is how this system is done. Receiving, reviewing annual report. If we authorize, the city has to report. They report me for the eastern region. I see, oh, this is not going well. No, this is not going on. This is not acceptable. You have to do this way. Otherwise, we will withdraw. We will do this. That is a big enforcement there. No one can escape. Because then pre-treatment compliance inspections, we do audit, go and see. I do that for many cities. I go and see what they are doing, 2 days, how their treatment plant is running, how you are doing the regulation. If anybody violates, what he will do. I don't want them to be a friendly person. You do anything, I will okay. No. If it happens, what you do, what you have done, what action you have taken. We see everything. There are resources also like that. People are also there who can do. Here also people are there, but only they have to do, right? There is no influence or anything is there, however big he is, right? So that is what the system is there. pre-treatment compliance inspection, audits. That means every 2 years we go and see what they are doing thoroughly, how they took care of them, was there any problem, how they dealt or not, what happened, whether your system is, because why? Cities treatment plant is the people's funded, right? You are protecting the income taxpayers, right? You guys have paid the money, you have the right. Suppose you are paying tax to the municipalities here, right? So you are the owner. That is what this people are the owner. So you have the right to ask them what is going on, right? So that is how it is. So that is why we do, you know, public awareness, public notice. If any industry is coming, we say that we publish in the paper there also, there. Here also it is there for impact assessment and all. So I used to do it before. So you have a public implementation, but nobody sees anything. So that is different. But public notice is there. They can put in a notice, put in their questions. Which industry coming? What is coming? What you guys are doing? These people are doing here. What action you are taking? They can ask. You cannot just deny. It's all in the record, and any person can come in and see the records. What is happening? They have a right. You have to provide within 24 hours, within a week time, whatever it is. What is happening? They have the right. So people have the right there. They can do that. That is how its system works. So that we do, for which we authorize. And direct oversight means if there are nothing, no resources, no cities want to come forward to take the responsibility, then we issue the authorization directly. They discharge it to, still they discharge it to the city or town treatment plant, but they pay money. They have any agreement. City can always say, we don't want to take your wastewater because this is worst. You have to do this, watch on them, right? So that is there. For example, in a aeroplane manufacturing is there, automobile manufacturing is there. They use a lot of chemicals, right? Those chemicals will just come with the water, right? So in that case, you can put, there are some industries produce a toxic one as a categorical. It is left to you. You will assess. That is what I said. When a new industry come in, what happens? They will do an application, and these are the industry, this is our problems, these are our products, and also we tell you submit an engineering report. Engineer will evaluate, professional engineer will evaluate and make sure that this is the industry, it produces this many toxics, these many things, how they will take care, how they will give a pre-treatment. They say that we will give a pre-treatment, we have primary settling tank, we have a clarifier, we do this much and then discharge. Okay, then we will stop. Then accordingly we give if it is a new, sometimes it is hard to fix the limits. We give a general limits. Then we say that after 6 months, it is going a little bit this side. So we revise that. We make sure that they are treating their stuff properly. So that is category. Local pre-treatment standard means some cities said, no, our treatment plant is very sophisticated, it has a less capacity. We will take only this much, 300 suspended solids, about 50 or 100 BOD. We cannot take more than this. So for industries, we can allow more little bit, but you have to treat certain things only with industry. Of course, how your domestic wastewater, your residential wastewater or domestic wastewater, which is coming from the house, what is its BOD? Around 300 to 400 maximum, right? That's there. But if it is the industry, 700, 800, 1000, we say no, we don't allow this. Then the receiving treatment plant says we can't take more than 500, 600. You treat little bit from your side, then you can Otherwise, you treat yourself, because they are small industries, right? They cannot have that much money to build a treatment plant. You need a volume also, right? You cannot build a treatment plant just for 100,000 gallons of wastewater produced, or 50,000 of 25,000, or less than 25,000. You cannot build treatment. That is why you give a little treatment and you make an understanding with the city. We do this and then discharge, we will pay you this much, like that. So that is why the system works like that. They may have an stringent rules, but you see, if you have a town where the river is flowing and you have a certain kind of fish where they need a high biological, high oxygen demand, high oxygen content in the river, you cannot just discharge and spoil the entire river, right? Many people dependent on the fish, right? And also drinking water. You cannot produce a certain wastewater there, discharge, which will cause a drinking water problem in the down the way, right? After 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, there is a town, they should not suffer a problem. So these are the things, they are all evaluated. That is how it is evaluated when the industry comes in. But by this time you can understand how they screen all the industries. There is no way that they can just come and start discharging anywhere. So these are the process. Until they say that go ahead, they cannot start, however it is. So that is how the system is built. Can be expressed in numeric limits, narrative prohibitions, and best management practices. Suppose there is why that best management practice I want to highlight a little bit. So what happens is, in a town there is a car wash, right? Car wash produce sometimes toxics, oil and grease, right? If they just wash everything and discharge to sewer, no, it won't work. Because what happens, oil and gas, oil and grease discharge to the sewer line, ultimately it goes to the wastewater treatment plant. If oil and grease is there in the wastewater treatment, it will reduce your 50% of the treatment efficiency. What it forms? It forms a layer on the suspended solids. It just spoils your entire the system. Biological system is destroyed. So that is why even if they are doing a car wash system in the town, they have to take a permission from the city. They will say that these best management practices, you are a small person, a small unit, commercial unit, but you cannot do this. What you can do? You have a grease trap before everything is washed. You will remove the foaming stuff, soaps and everything, and then you will discharge. You follow the best manufacturer. You have to pay this. We will inspect. They cannot violate. One thing you should always, I will not tell repeatedly, if they say that you have to do, you have to do. There is nothing that they cannot say they will do. Otherwise, they have to shut down in the down the way. So this is how even for the small unit is tracked that way. Correct? I will also give you another quick examples. If the restaurants are there, restaurants, they must have an oil and grease trap before they discharge their water. That is a separate fog program they run. City towns, they run the fog programs. They make sure that each restaurant has a unit there. That what it does, it removes the oil and grease and then discharge. And there is a person who can come every month, every week, or depending upon its capacity, they remove the oil and grease, then they put the new, not the new one, the same one, but the oil and grease is removed from the system. They take it for the treatment. That is another process which is will not do most focus on that. They collect from different places. I have an industry which does that, which collects all this oil and grease from different industries, different restaurants, then they treat. Is it? They make it so many products out of it. So that is how it is done. So that means even from the small restaurant it is tracked. So that is how McDonald's or any other small restaurant there. So that is the mandatory. They cannot escape the system. So narrative prohibition and best management practice. So this is a general prohibition. Non-domestic dischargers may not introduce into POTW any pollutants which cause pass-through interference. That is the law. Any industry, commercial unit or any industry discharging wastewater to the treatment plant, they should not cause any interference and pass through. That is the law. That is the baseline. They can always say that they can stop they will not be taking their discharge. They have the right. They can stop accepting the wastewater coming from the respective industry. So that is, it is prohibition, and prohibition applies to each non-domestic dischargers introducing pollutant into the POTW, whether or not the non-domestic discharger is subjected to other national pre-treatment standard or any national, state, local pre-treatment requirement. See, such an important topic. Anyone cannot tell them that you accept however it is. No, they can deny. It is creating a problem, issues with our wastewater treatment plant. You cannot just discharge. You imagine there is a restaurant which is causing, there is a commercial unit. If you say if they are discharging, if the regulator says no, don't discharge, they have to stop. They cannot do. That is how I want you to tell about the system model which is existing, and here how it is. So you don't say that we can't do anything here. No, it is not like that. So but understand the system slowly wherever, because wherever possible it is possible to implement. How we implement, how we can improve, all those things has to be done, right? Specific prohibition, because there are a lot of systems, lot of laws. Specific prohibitions means, see, pollutants which create a explosion and hazard. If you are discharging which has a lot of methane, lot of toxicity which causes a explosion. That is why each industry, each unit, what they are manufacturing is important, right? If they are something coming into the system, your sewer line may blow up, right? And it may disrupt, it may cause a problem to the whole treatment plants. You don't want to mess the whole treatment plant which is built by the people, just by one industry, one person, like that. It is not a right, it is a privilege. You are helping them to accept the wastewater. You can understand the philosophy, how this is built, and it is working. That is why I am trying to tell you that the system which is built is working, right? So how best we can do it, that's all. Then the pollutant which cause corrosive structural damage to the POTW. If he is discharging a wastewater which has a pH of 3-4, what happens? All the sewer system will be corroded, right? Your whole treatment plant, all what the iron system or everything is there, it will just spoil in 5 years. Do you want to accept? Suppose if you are a boss of a treatment plant unit, you may, and some of you may be already, right? So what you will do? What is your job? Your job is to protect, right? So that is why I am telling you little philosophy. Your education, experience, everything is there. It is then the third part is contribution and creation is important for us, everyone. It is not necessary that we have to do any big things. In what job you are, you have to do it right. Right? That's important. What you are there, someone is not doing and you are not doing, that is not reason. That is a philosophy, understanding every people should have, right? That is what I have followed, so that's what I am telling you. So whatever possible, we should do the things right. That is what you have to do. So that is what solids, viscous pollutants which cause obstruction resulting. You can understand what issues they will cause. So pollutant released at a flow rate or concentration causing the interference. That means hydraulic. You can read, I have published many papers. You can also read how the higher flows and high concentrated wastewater cause a shock loading to the treatment system, right? So they will suddenly, one industry say that today I have just the permission to discharge about 1,000 gallons per day. I will discharge 10,000. So today I am cleaning everything. He cannot do like that. If he wants to do, what he can do, he can have a storage tank in himself in the industry. He can do that. Then slowly he can regulate. There are situations like that. If they do numerical violation like that, flow whatever allotted to them, if they don't have, because one day he is producing 1,000 and another day if he is producing 10,000, he can store in his place. He cannot just disturb there, right? There are many situations like that. That is what we say that. What if you are allowing, you should talk to them, hey, we are discharging this much, whether possible today or not, we can pay. There are surcharges and all of them. If you are producing the certain cities, what they do is, I tell them, put surcharge. If BOD allowed is 300, if they are producing 500 continuously, then they charge heavily per gallons, this much is this, then they will understand. That is what I told you. If you violate, you have to pay for that. See, then people will understand. That is how simple. In the cities, if you put a parking fine, people will understand. Otherwise, they can park anywhere. If the fine is just 500, people don't value. If you put 5,000, then they will understand. They will leave the things there and come by walk. This is what. That is how the system is built. You have to do that. Why? Because it is the law. That is what they say. So these are the things. And there are certain industries which produce heated water. Temperature. When you heated water come into your system, what happens? There are biological systems, microorganisms. We will learn more about the biological system. I want you to understand how the biological system is popular and works today also. So if you are living a high temperature wastewater, so what happens? Your whole system will be gone and it will take 3-4 months to recover. A month if you work hard to recover, but you cannot just destroy your treatment plant just because of someone is discharging high temperature. What you can do? There is a solution. If you find, guys, you build a tank in your, reduce the temperature, you do whatever you want there. Then you, whatever allowed is there, that only you can discharge. So that is why that the heat in the amounts which will inhibit biological activities, the POTW resulting in an interference. So that is why the person who is in charge of the treatment plant also has a right. See, only this much I can do. They have to be strong, right? So that is how. So oil in amount that will cause interference are possible. That is what I told you. Restaurant, if they are just throwing oil in the sewer system, what happens? You don't want to get spoiled your treatment system, which is built with crores of rupees, right? So that is why if a person is there, I only tell him he has to do his job properly. People who are there, people who want to take a sample, they should do the job. That is the great contribution you can do, right? If they do their job properly, things will be all right. That is how, if you are a teacher, you will teach correctly, right? Whether, even if you don't do it, is okay. But if that is okay is not for yourself. You are checking yourself. Do it correctly. you know. Otherwise, it is just possible our mind, body wants to be lazy sometimes. You have to have a discipline is very important in everybody's career, even me also. I try to put discipline myself. It is not that somebody is watching you, somebody wants to do you, force you, then you are doing, otherwise no. Otherwise it is very easy to become, you know. Some people work, you see, we used to work 12 hours a day. When I was in IIT, 12 hours. If you don't work 12 hours, you can't do. It is possible. So you have to train your mind and this to do that. There's a lot of capability. So that is why, just on the side note, what we do, we should do it perfectly, right? Pollutants which result in presence of toxic gases and vapors and fumes. The toxic substance will cause a havoc in the treatment system. That is why you should take care of. See, if a person who is in charge is not doing his properly, what happens? Toxic substance will just go. How much problems you are causing? You are under things, you are not doing it rightly, and you are allowing them to do the things, you know, which are wrong. Toxic will just enter the river. They will spoil all the fish life, everything. You know, today I will give you an example. Hospital clinic, they sometimes ask if a small 1 ml, whether they can drain, they can just throw it. I said, no, you cannot do that. That 1 ml will go to the river because they are carcinogenic. Whether they are in the soil or in the water, they will remain, right? So if you do that, what happens? Entire thing will spoil. Many people are there from the soil background, right? You understand if it is in the soil, what happens to the crop, and if it is in the water, what happens to the system. So that is how you have to be careful. We have to make sure that we are doing the right things. Okay, I will stop in 5 minutes because we have to go to lunch. I can take 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, we will stop, then you go for a lunch. Then after that, there is a site visit. If it is remaining, I will cover tomorrow, right? Yeah, this is how. I want to just show you some picture quickly. So if it is a methane is there in the sewer system can block. So these things have happened. They have learned the lesson. Once the system is screwed up, then you have to have a law. You cannot discharge these toxics. Yes. See, if it happens, it will spoil the entire system. If they are putting low pH wastewater all the time to the system, if you are not doing the things properly, what happens? See, they are not discharging to treatment plant. They are discharging it to sewer line, because many people, if the big industry is there, they can have a direct pipeline because they cannot just discharge it to the sewer line, big volumes. What they do is they discharge it to the sewer line, right? So small industries, if they are discharging it to the sewer line, what happens? Explosion and corrosion occurs, low pH and toxic substances. If they are discharging it to the wastewater which consists of hydrogen sulfide, what happens? Hydrogen sulfide reacts with water, forms sulfuric acid, right? What happens? Even if it is a low concentration, it will start corroding the sewer lines. Big force. People can go down directly. So that is a different aspect. But whole your treatment system is spoiled because people who are there in the system, they are not doing the right thing. So that is why these laws came into existence. That is why they are curious. You built a system, sewer system, treatment plant, spending crores of rupees. If it is not working, who is responsible? I heard one example. I can give you that example later. If treatment plants are built and they are not working, then how we will justify? You cannot just say that system is like this. But there are people who are working in the system. If they are not doing their job properly, those things happen. So these are the examples. Foams, you are most, you may be knowing these examples around you which are going now. Lot of foams in the water. If you are living in a acidic wastewater, what your whole river, you have a great example going on in Delhi, Yamuna river. Right? You see the foams, no? But from where it is come? Well, today everybody is active. What about 10-15 years or long back? People have never noticed. That is what the environment is. Environment is, it has a capability. Mother Earth has a capability to take the system for many, many years. But once it's spoiled, done. How we will rectify? Everyone has to suffer for that. It is not like a network system. If something is wrong, it will not light. Oh, you know this is wrong. You will fix it immediately. But here it is not like. It will allow, and then damages, everybody will be the part of that system. Right? That is, those things happens if they do. This is if the acidic water. So categorical standards, there are certain standards, specific industrial categories, specific process codes. These are the national uniform technology based standards called effluent limitation guidelines. So what happens is, certain industries are there. So there is always a solution. You have made such a big law who makes? People like you and me. You will learn, oh, this is missing. You will write the law. This is not working. We will modify. People like you and me do work for many, many years, so you will do that. What happened? There are some certain things which you may not be knowing. It is missing, but that is coming up. What you do, what you will do, effluent or technology-based standards. You will create as an engineer or as a technologist, as a scientist. You said, oh, this is not in our regulation. But what you will do? You will ask a professional engineer to prepare a report. What is their effluent, that is your effluent-based guidelines you will create. You will create certain, what are the toxicants? Oh, these toxicants are not covered. It is left. There are, because people have created a lot of pollutants. Man-made pollutants are numerous than the normal, right? Normal, the nature can take care of that. That is why you give an example, no? Some years back, people used to drink water from the river, but today, just you can make worship the river, but not drink water. This is the situation, right? So those are the things. So that is why they have, if it is not covered in your laws, you will make an effluent guidelines. Oh, this is a new effluent. Let us see what are these limits. You can adopt, and then you can go for regulation. You cannot say that, oh, we don't have a regulation, you can start discharging. No, you have that authority to do. So specific pollutant limits, you will put some limits. How? Based on your judgment, experience. You will say, hey, these are the pollutants in this, put this. We will see, monitor. If it is something wrong, we will modify. So this is how that authority. That means at any cost, any industry, any discharger cannot escape. This is not there, I can do. Cannot do. So these are specific pollutant limits, contains direct and indirect discharges standards. So that is all. There is a provision in the industry, because now so many new products are coming up. Who will keep sometimes it is just possible that people were not knowing 10 years back what is PCB, what is PFAS, people were not knowing. So today people know, right? So that is how. And a categorical industry, they want to be more focused in the categorical industry because they produce a lot of toxics. So they want to, as they develop, they put a lot of new regulations. Organic chemicals are there, plastic, synthetic fibers, so they are covered under this. Inorganic chemicals are there, and metal finishers are there, paints are there. See, these are all we have credit of making these kind of pollutants. We have a credit of making these pollutants, but not taking care of it, right? So now when we know, we have to have a solution, right? So that is why these are some of the information they try to cover, have a judgment, make sure that you will reduce, manage, by the treatment plant, or remove completely. So those are the philosophy. Local has an always, because there are some are smart treatments, they have an more privilege, more rights to protect their treatment plants. That is why they can put, suppose a big a monument is there, you can put, there is no clause for air pollution, you can say this is a monument we want to protect. So these are our laws, local. It may not be a central, but those laws are for the local, still they have to follow. So those are things. So chemical specific best management practice, I gave you example of small, even a car wash is there. If they are not discharging it properly, you have the right. So best management, hey guys, these are the things, you cannot do these things, you have to report, you can inspect, take care of this, have a little treatment in that, then make it sure that it is good, then discharge. So that is covered. So additional specific provisions, if you have any concern, because certain treatment plants are built with a different design systems, right? Different designs. Okay, right. So we will stop here. We'll have a lunch. Enjoy the lunch. Then I think we are going for a site visit, right? So tomorrow I will cover a little bit of this, and then we will proceed to the next lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
Oh.
for this lecture.